Because left unregulated, it's a big problem. Because any individual company can't afford on their own not to embrace it. Because if all their competitors are using it, then they'll go out of business. So that's a perfect place for the government to figure out how to regulate it without stifling innovation.
Any students have any questions? Should we start with Ed?
Ed.
Sure, should I do the mic?
It's your room, so whatever you want to do.
So I'll just try to lead by example or follow by example. I have a question about media and politics in the current climate. So we've had a number of speakers here in recent weeks. Jeff Goldberg from The Atlantic talked about that kind of dynamic that's developed between the media and politicians in the Trump era, lots of hyperbole and everything else, and distraction from issues and talking about substance. So to what extent is that real? And if it is real,
I think it's very real, and I'd be lying if I told you I figured it out. We're kind of figuring it out real time. It's almost impossible to get the news out, if you will. And we're struggling, even in the short time I've been in government. I've been a public life for 6 years. 6 years ago, when I started this, our local paper, the Providence Journal, was something that many or most Rhode Islanders read, certainly all influencers read. It's a shadow of its former self and not true. I think they're down to 16 reporters, so you can't rely on that. Broadcast news has become almost like talk radio. I do this one-on-one thing with live TV. And it started out, even when I started 2 years ago, it was a nice back and forth, and now they call it going one-on-one with the governor. Like it's all a fight, motif. So we're constantly trying to figure it out. We're relying a lot more on social media. I'm investing a lot in building my Facebook presence. We find that people trust Facebook, people trust their friends, and it's the only place where they'll really go and sort of hang out long enough to engage with the topic. And it has to be much more hyper-local. That's also the only way that we're learning. Like I'm actually spending a lot more time with micro-local media in Rhode Island, because people do read that. But it's a challenge, it's a huge challenge, and we're all figuring it out as we go. Okay.
Governor Raimondo, thank you so much for coming today. You gave some really good examples of the way that sort of federal failures and gaps in their ability to regulate certain industries or issue areas sort of falls to the state. Can you talk a little bit about examples of if there are any places where the state, through innovation or really successful policymaking at the state level, can also sort of push policies up to the more national level and to try to get traction for really good ideas rather than sort of filling holes the federal government is left, which maybe isn't all that applicable today because there are some holes to fill, but broadly speaking.
Yeah, so I think what we were talking about, we just passed here in Rhode Island, we became the 4th state in the country to allow students to go to community college tuition free. That ought to be done at a federal level. That is, the federal government has money for it. It could be a massive expansion of the Pell Grant program. It would be pretty easy to do. So I'm hoping to show that it works here. People get jobs, people don't drop out, they graduate, they get a good job in community college, and hopefully, if enough states do that and show that the investment is worth it, that's something the federal government might roll out at a national level.
Hello, Governor. Thank you for coming. Can you just explain some of the ways that Rhode Island's leading the way in food security and how we're one of the first states to have our own food organizing?
What's your name?
My name's Joel.
Nice to meet you, Joel. So, yeah, Joel nailed it. So about a year ago, this is what happens when you have an Italian governor. There's a premium focus on food. So about a year ago, I signed an executive order appointing the state's first ever food czar. I have a full-time person, and all she does is think about our food strategy. And all joking aside, it's pretty amazing, because we're coming up with a statewide food policy to support our local farms, and encourage people to buy local, restaurants, big companies, Brown, to buy local food wherever possible, and then training opportunities. So we're rolling out job training opportunities, job training programs for like the commercial fishermen. You can make a good living as a commercial fisherman. It's an aging industry, so we're doing apprenticeship programs. Same thing for food. We're doing this new, really cool program. Kids in the juvenile justice system, we're teaching them food prep so they can, have a career in the food industry. So it's all about coordinating across the whole state, and it's big business. There's a lot of jobs in it, but also we need a sustainable, safe, local food supply, and that's what this person, Sue, does.
Thank you.
So that's another thing. Hopefully other states will do a similar thing.
Governor, I am a resident of Rhode Island and a former student. And my question is Rhode Island making a strong pitch to Jeff Bezos so that you will move his new headquarters here?
We are, I am, and absolutely. I think I'm not alone. Probably many other governors are doing that. But I think we have a great pitch, and Brown's part of my pitch, actually. Brown and RISD. There's very few places in America that can say they have, a top design school and a top computer science program across the street from one another in a city that's affordable and a great place to live. So my pitch is, we're part of the Boston ecosystem of talent, but it's a better place to live, lower cost of living, higher quality of life. So I'm going for it, yeah.
Hi, thank you both so much for coming. Governor, you mentioned something earlier that really caught my attention. You were discussing the Affordable Care Act, and you said you contacted your fellow female governors and asked them to reach out to their Republican senators and help sway the vote on that. I thought that was really striking and somewhat unique in such a partisan, highly divided government system we have right now. Would you say that being a female governor or a female in politics influences your ability to reach across the aisle, or where does that come from?
Yeah. So what I meant to say was I reached out to Republican governors, men and women. So, for instance, Governor Sandoval in Nevada, Republican. I reached out to him and worked with him because his two senators were swing votes, both Republicans. Anyway, I do think so. I think that if you can generalize, which nobody likes to do, including me, I think women tend to be maybe a little more outcome-oriented, so less about the partisanship and the politics, and more about okay, but let's get it done. Let's get something done. Someone said that to me, that they can tell that I'm like a working mom with kids. Because it's like, we don't have time for that. Let's just solve the problem. That's how I govern. John's laughing because he works for me. Like, I know. Stop talking about all that stuff. What's the answer? How do we get this done? And I think on balance, women are probably a little better at that. Less fighting, more doing.
I'd like to thank both of you guys for taking the time to speak with us and giving us this opportunity. I know, Governor, that you mentioned in business and both in politics in the past and unfortunately recently that you've been one of very few women in the community that you are working in. And I was wondering if that led you to have self-doubts, and if it did, how you dealt with that, because it can be extremely intimidating to be one of the only women in a room full of guys.
Yeah. So I think everyone's filled with self-doubt, and I wonder all the time, did I handle that the best I could? Did I make the right decision? Especially in my world, because there's just not enough money to invest in everything we need to, so you're always making compromises, which are so difficult. I don't, though, focus on the gender part of it. I would say just focus on the substance of what you're doing. And just, focus on the work, whatever that might be. And just care about that. Care about the people you're serving and care about the work that you're doing. And just, push yourself to do the best of the job that you can do. And that will help you, I think, to get over the self-doubt and also blind you a little bit to the fact that you may suddenly find yourself as the only woman in the room. That's okay. Just keep doing your job. Just keep doing your thing, doing your job.
Thank you.
Hi, Governor. Thank you for being here. My question is regarding the opioid epidemic, and in the absence of a strong federal unifying presence, what's the future of the opioid crisis, and what can governors and states do, especially in New England, regarding this situation?
Yeah, thank you for your question. That is a perfect example where I wish the federal government would show up and do its job. Because a lot of this is about resources. We actually know what works, and we need the resources to do it. So what have we done? We're doing an awful lot. By the way, we're not winning. Rhode Island is held out as a place of real innovation and leadership, which I'm proud of, except our death rate is not going down, or it's stagnating. Perfect example. We are doing medical assisted treatment in prisons. It's working. Previously, before we started this, if you were a user when you went into prison, abstinence was what they recommended. Which means when you go back out of prison, you're so much more likely to die from an overdose. So we are using our Medicaid money to do medical assisted treatment. If the Affordable Care Act went away, if Congress cut our funds, we'd have to cut that, people would die. That's what would happen. It's so sad. So we're focusing on prevention, trying to reduce the stigma, and then getting everybody into treatment. Addiction is a disease, recovery is possible, we've got to get everyone into treatment.
I think we have time just for one more quick question.
So first of all, I want to say I worked in the executive office of Congress this summer. Totally drank the Kool-Aid. I love everything you guys are doing.
Where are you from?
Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay here.
I feel like that spending summer here, so we'll see. So one thing I definitely learned is that when I hear the word Raimondo, I think economy. So I was wondering.
Nice. Success.
Somebody who is running on fixing the economy would probably be very interested in adding approximately $20 million to the state coffers without a dime out of the taxpayer's pocket. So I was wondering what your thoughts are on recreational marijuana.
Yeah. Here's what I think about it. I don't think it'll bring nearly that much money to Rhode Island. So I'm open to it. My position is I'm open to it. I'm not rushing to do it because every other state that's done it has struggled. And when I talked to Governor Hickenlooper of Colorado, he says, Gina, avoid it as long as possible. Because he said the revenue is a drop in the bucket. It's not there. By the time you account for more police officers, more kids sick in school, more regulation, that you have to set up a whole department to regulate it. He said, don't do it for the money, because the money's not there. So for me, decriminalizing recreational use of marijuana is easy, because that's about social justice. It should be a fine, not a crime. Or not, maybe not even a fine. It's that I'm fine with. But I'm taking it slow as it relates to full-on legalization and regulation, because from everything I hear, it's not the panacea when it comes to the money, and quite frankly, edibles get into the hands of kids and they get sick more than we realize. So we'll see how Massachusetts does.
Can I ask one final question? Just prerogative here as the moderator. So every day, we look at the news, and it's disheartening. There's violence, there's protests, there's natural disasters, it's kind of one thing after another. But what is most troubling, I think, is it feels like there are so many divisions in our country. And it seems to me that going forward, what we need to be thinking about is how that gets stitched back together. Right? What does it mean to be an American? What are the values that we care about, and how do we start to come together again? And I just would like to close with maybe your thoughts on that, because I think leadership is key to it. And I think it would be interesting for the kids to hear what you think about that issue.
So it's the most important issue there is. People just need to care about their know their neighbors, and care about the neighbors a lot more than they do. When I think about the last election and the fact that low-income Latinos, low-income African Americans, low-income women, all were divided against one another, for example, it makes me so sad, because they all share a commonality, which is, they need better education, better jobs, better healthcare, better safety net. But people are fighting each other, and I think a lot of it is people don't know each other. When I tell my kids, I'm threatening to take away their iPhones and give them flip phones, and they know what that is. Yeah, they know what a flip phone is. That's my constant threat. If they don't go to bed on time, you're getting a flip phone. And you can't blame everything on social media, but it's a huge piece of the puzzle. Because for all of our connectivity, we're actually really not connected. We don't hang out, spend time, and know each other. Actually sit down and get to know one another, and we need to rekindle basic human relationships and communication. Because when you do that, you realize our shared humanity, it's way, way more fundamental than Democrat or Republican. And we have to get back in the business of simply caring about one another and taking the edge of the violence and the anger and the fighting, which is in politics in a big way. And just my Commissioner of Education talks a lot about love, and everyone teases him because they go to the guy that says we just need to love each other. There's a lot of truth to it. Tolerance. That's why, as governor, I've been so opposed to when I hear anything that sounds like racism, discrimination on the basis of national origin or religion. That, we have to put a lid on that kind of hatred. Put a lid on it. It's not a